In modern warfare, the most dangerous kind of defeat is not losing a single battle. The MiG-35 did not collapse because of one technical flaw. It was not rejected because it lacked agility. It did not fail because it lacked weapons. It failed because it was born inside a way of thinking that was already one generation behind the world. The MiG-35 still stands there like an answer to a question no one is asking anymore. And today's story is not about a Russian fighter jet. It is a cold warning about what happens when a nation keeps upgrading the past instead of building the future. In recent years, the United States has continued to lead the global arms market, holding the #1 position in sales. The F-35 fighter has passed the milestone of more than 1,000 aircraft sold, while the F-16 still maintains strong appeal on the market. Faced with the outstanding success of American-made fighter lines, Russia, a long-standing military power, did not want to stand outside the game. In an effort to regain market share, Russia introduced the MiG-35 fighter, promoted as a fourth-generation fighter with superior performance. However, although it was introduced many years ago, the MiG-35 to this day has not secured a single export contract, with sales stuck at zero. So why? A fighter once expected to be the strongest in this fourth-generation class, has it failed to attract attention on the international market? The history of the MiG-35 and its predecessor, the MiG-29, traces back to 1969, when the Soviet Union launched plans to counter the U.S. Air Force's APS-EAT program, which threatened the new generation of American fighters. The Soviet Union realized the need to develop a fighter aircraft with truly superior competitiveness. The requirements for this new aircraft were extreme agility and advanced avionics. To achieve that goal, the Soviet Union proposed its own advanced tactical fighter project. The aerodynamic design of the new aircraft was assigned to the Soviet Aerodynamic Research Institute. By 1971, the project was divided into two branches, a heavy fighter and a light fighter. The heavy branch went to Sukhoi, leading to the birth of the Su-27. Meanwhile, the light branch went to the Mikoyan Design Bureau, where the MiG-29 was successfully developed. The MiG-29 made its first flight on October 6, 1977, and was officially inducted into Soviet service in 1982. In NATO's designation system, the MiG-29 was named Fulcrum, meaning a pivot point. The first version of the MiG-29 still used a traditional hydraulic control system, but stood out for its agile maneuverability, with a turn rate comparable to the US F-16. In particular, the MiG-29 was equipped with adjustable air intakes that could be adjusted during takeoff and landing on non-standard runways, or when flying at low speed.
During takeoff and landing on non-standard runways, or when flying at low speed, these air intakes could be almost fully closed to prevent foreign objects from the ground from entering the engines, helping the aircraft operate safely in harsh conditions. In design, the MiG-29 and the Su-27 share many similarities because both came from the same project. So in one sense, even military experts can find it difficult to distinguish the two aircraft from photographs alone. Thanks to high agility and reliability, the MiG-29 was quickly favored and became a top export choice in the 1980s, with customers in nearly 30 countries across multiple continents. To this day, many MiG-29s are still serving in the inventories of air forces around the world. The MiG-29 has many variants, more than 30 versions, including trainers, fighter bombers, and even a naval version. Sometimes, only a small avionics upgrade was enough to justify a new designation number. Before the MiG-35 appeared, the most notable improved version of this line was the MiG-29M. This aircraft was redesigned with an aluminum alloy airframe and replaced the hydraulic control system with an electronic fly-by-wire system. The older N019 radar was replaced by the more advanced Rust radar. The cockpit added two multifunction displays, and fuel capacity was increased. More powerful RD-33K engines were installed, along with an increase in the number of weapon hardpoints to 8, delivering superior combat performance. At first, the MiG-29 perfectly met the requirements of the Soviet military, becoming an excellent frontline fighter with a twin-engine design that provided high reliability. However, as the nature of warfare changed and international needs shifted, the MiG-29, as well as its upgraded version, the MiG-35, increasingly revealed its mismatch with modern warfare. According to the original plan, Russia expected to equip 70 MiG-35s for the Russian Aerospace Forces, VKS, starting in 2014. However, just 1 year later, Russia's Ministry of Defense decided to postpone that plan to 2016. In reality, up to now, only 6 MiG-35s have been fielded in a largely symbolic way for the Russian military. More notably, on the international market, this fighter aircraft still has not won a single export contract, leaving sales stuck at zero, a disappointing reality for an aircraft once burdened with high expectations. By the late 1990s, due to a severe economic crisis and failures in reform and privatization, Russia's once mighty defense industry fell into decline. In that context, the MiG Design Bureau also had to search for a new path to stay alive. To maintain its operations, it was forced to look for ways to keep its projects and workforce running in a shrinking industrial environment. As the new millennium began, the design mindset inside MiG started to change sharply compared with the past. Traditionally, MiG and Sukhoi carried different missions in Soviet and Russian military aviation development. Sukhoi focused on heavy fighters, tactical bombers, and attack aircraft. MiG, by contrast, concentrated on frontline fighters and high-altitude interceptors. The MiG-29, one of MiG's most notable products, was originally built to support ground forces with a primary task: destroy the enemy's armored targets within roughly 60 kilometers. With that tactical requirement, the MiG-29 did not need long range, and it did not need to carry large amounts of fuel. Instead, internal volume was prioritized for other combat support systems, helping optimize its role as a pure frontline fighter. But most countries that bought Soviet fighters had geography and strategy very different from the Soviet Union itself. With smaller territory, they did not need a doctrine that paired heavy and light fighter types. Operating too many aircraft categories only increased pressure on logistics, spare parts, and maintenance cycles, and it raised the burden of training pilots and ground crews. As a result, these countries tended to prefer a single multi-role aircraft to cover most combat missions. The MiG-29, designed primarily for air defense, was later pushed to perform ground attack and maritime roles as well. However, once it became a multi-role platform, its limited combat radius quickly surfaced. When forced to strike targets at long distance, the MiG-29 became inefficient, earning the nickname the Airport Fence Guard. To address these limitations and meet international customer demands, the Soviet Union began deep upgrades to export variants of the MiG-29. However, compared with larger aircraft such as the Su-27, improving the MiG-29, a lightweight fighter airframe, was a major challenge. In that difficult context, it was an attempt to keep the familiar MiG foundation while stretching it to meet newer expectations without abandoning the original airframe entirely. The MiG-35 appeared as an intermediate solution. The MiG-35 was developed on the basis of the MiG-29K, the naval variant, and the MiG-29M. It kept the basic aerodynamic layout, but introduced several changes in form. Wing area was increased to 38 square meters, empty weight reached about 11 tons, and maximum range was raised to 2,000 kilometers. The number of weapon hardpoints increased to 9, while the cannon was retained. The landing gear was also reinforced, improving deployment to forward airfields, which had always been a strong point of MiG designs. These changes helped the MiG-35 become a noticeably improved variant, better aligned with modern combat requirements. The MiG-35 was fitted with thrust vectoring engines integrated with an ALS early warning radar system, enabling detection and timely warning of threats from the ground and beyond. However, when examined closely, the MiG-35 is essentially an upgraded variant of the MiG-29M, with improvements and adjustments that remain relatively limited. The most notable changes include a slightly enlarged airframe, an engine thrust increase of about 8%, fuel capacity expanded by up to 45%, and the addition of one extra weapon hardpoint. The cockpit and fire control systems were modernized, claimed to reach world-class standards, allowing the aircraft to carry more powerful weapons. Yet, despite these upgrades, the consequences are clearly visible.
If you find this content helpful and valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. My name is Hai.
See you next time.